So you mentioned, K-State, they're a co-favorite to win the conference this year. I think that's a pretty good segue to get into, some of the details of this list of odds and people who are favored to win the Big 12 championship. Um, Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say go. Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I'm seeing right now at the top of the list with that favorite with K-State, you have Arizona State.
Yep.
It's pretty obvious. They were a team that made the CFB playoffs last year. They got Sam Levitt back at quarterback. He's the face of the program, right? He had a record-setting year last year. He had over 2,800 yards, 24 touchdowns. Things that are not going to be easy to do. Replacing Cam Scatterboo.
Hmm.
Um, I'm excited to see him play in the NFL for the Giants this year, but
Yeah.
that's a big piece of the offense that they're going to have to replace. Um, Kenny Dillingham, he's a young coach, but he's up and coming. He's going to have this team ready to fight all year long. I'm excited to see what happens.
What is it about the Big 12? Arizona State and Kansas State, they both have now sophomore quarterbacks, but as freshmen, they're just setting records all over the place. What is it about the Big 12 that allows uh, rookie quarterbacks to, or not rookie, but freshman quarterbacks to do that? We don't have to get into that at this point, but that's just interesting interesting point that I noticed. The third highest Big 12 in terms of conference or championship odds is Texas Tech. And if you guys watched the last episode, they are my dark horse team of this year. I think they're going to be a team that kind of like sprung on the scene like Indiana did last year or Florida State did the year before. And obviously Vegas agrees. They are going to make some moves this year. So I just wanted to point out that Texas Tech is also number 3 on that Big 12 championship odds list.
Mhm. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm looking down the list now, and so in that mid to lower tier, you see Colorado. They're not one of the favorites this year. They're kind of middle to lower tier.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you lost a lot of talent on offense. You lost Shador, you lost Travis Hunter, you lost some really, really great receivers, but I don't know why they're counting them out that low. Uh, you got, the freshman coming in, Juju Lewis, and then you also have the transfer from Liberty at quarterback coming in, Caden Salter.
Mm-hmm.
He's no slouch. He was an excellent dual threat quarterback last year at Liberty. He had 2,400 passing yards, 27 passing touchdowns, and 845 rushing yards. You know the Big 12 is wide open, and they're one of those teams. I think Deion Sanders isn't going to let this team just slack down like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny that Colorado is where it is on the list, and BYU is right above it. They also have a true. They just named just today, Bachmeyer, excuse me, Bear Bachmeyer as their starting quarterback, and he's going to be a true freshman. As we all heard earlier this year, the quarterback that they had before, the news slipped that he was fornicating on campus, and so BYU said, "Nah, you gotta go." So, Bear, if you're listening, don't do it. If you want
Yeah.
to keep the job, don't do it.
And
Who else?
then
Who else do we
that
have on this list?
next on the list, if you keep on going down at the very, very bottom of the list is Gus Malzahn. I mean, not Gus Malzahn. At the bottom of the list, you got UCF because Gus Malzahn just left the program to join FSU. He's the new offensive coordinator at FSU. Even though they are at the bottom of the list, the Big 12 always feels like it's more than wide open for anybody in the conference to take it all. So yeah, it's definitely wide open. Speaking of that, who do you think is your favorite to win the conference?
I I'm gonna keep banging this Texas Tech drum.
Okay.
They had a huge transfer portal overhaul. They had one of the best classes, transfer portal classes. And not only that, they tackled the key issues that they had last year with this transfer portal class, which was mostly on defense for them. They have a new defensive coordinator. Not to say he's a world beater or anything like that, but maybe he'll come here and make a name for himself. And they have a returning quarterback. Seems like that's a recurring theme here in the Big 12, but not necessarily across the wider league. So, yeah, I think Texas Tech is, I mean, they're in the top three. I think that's a very reasonable choice to make for your Big 12 champion.
Okay,
What about you?
that's a fair take. For me, it's gonna have to be Arizona State. So, I know they lost, Scadaboo, but they're bringing back 79% of their 2024 production. And then again, Sam Levitt, he's going to be the face. He's going to be probably the quarterback most comfortable, in my opinion, in the league
Yeah,
with in terms of experience. He played on a very, very high level last year, and he performed against the Texas Longhorns really, really well.
yeah, that was a great game.
Um, a very, very great game. And then another thing to consider, they have a pretty favorable schedule. So, of course, you're playing Big 12 play, but you're avoiding those teams like BYU, like
Hmm.
K-State in the regular season. So that's my favorite, and I think they have a really, really good chance of winning and maybe even returning back to the college football playoffs.